Hey, what's up guys? It's Jake the Snake here. And today I wanted to do a video on hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades, other known as H3VR. Virtual reality brings a lot of things to the table when it comes to gaming. You got racing games, you got space games, and of course you got Beat Saber. But there is one game that it brings to the table that is unique to its own, something you can't do on a desktop. It's FPS games. First-person shooters go back as far as I can remember myself, but they have always been a staple in gaming. Any 90s kid remembers games such as Duke Nukem, GoldenEye, Halo, and Doom. And we all have that memory of late night Modern Warfare 2 quickscoping matches with your friend or your brother. But with the introduction of VR, it puts you into the game. The immersion is real with this. We're all familiar with Pavlov, Onward, and Zero Caliber. Onward being a more intense and serious shooter, which really does get intense. And then there's Pavlov, being more of a run and gun, funny kind of game. Which, don't get me wrong, those are a lot of fun. I do enjoy Onward and Pavlov a lot. But there's a game that separates itself from everything else. It's more realistic, it has its funny moments, and it gets intense. It's not easy to make a statement saying H3VR is the best first-person shooter out there. But hopefully by the end of this video, maybe you guys will agree with me, or even try it out for your first time. One thing that H3VR does very well is the variety in guns. With over 300 weapons in the game, choosing one can really be intimidating. Everything from rifles, submachine guns, shotguns, rocket launchers, grenades, shields, swords, and the list goes on. The sky truly is the limit. So you have your favorite Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gun picked out. What about attachments? Well, look no further, because there are hundreds of attachments. Need some type of grip on your rifle? Well, there's probably about 15 different types. Grenade launchers, probably about 5. Want an underbarrel shotgun? They got that. Lasers and flashlights are there too. Not a big fan of the iron sights? Well, you got a plethora of optics, including close, medium, and far range optics as well. Now, one thing every gun does need is ammo. With the variety of ammo they have in the game, it's actually insane. From incendiary to explosive, FMJ, hollow points, you name it, they have it. Even 12 gauge flare rounds, which are a pain in the ass. Find yourself lonely on 4th of July? Well, they got a shit ton of fireworks in here too. One of the things the game does the best is the gun interaction. The gun interaction in this game is extremely realistic. Unlike most other FPS VR games, the actual gun itself never highlights itself to tell you what to do. You have to figure it out yourself. In fact, whenever I first got the game, I didn't know this, and the LMGs were a bit tough for me to figure out that you actually had to lift the dust cover up to put the bullets in. In games like Take and Hold and their team deathmatch modes, you're going to want to have good inventory management. There's a variety of different weapon and ammo slots for you to use. I like the one that allows you to hold up to 4 pistols and 2 primaries on your waist and 2 on your shoulders, giving you 6 slots for ammo. Now, you may not need 4 pistols, but they also store ammo, grenades, and your health as well. Weapon recoil in this game isn't too bad. As long as you hold your rifle or shotgun with 2 hands, you won't have a problem. But for when moments get crazy, you bet your ass you can akimbo weapons, and that's one of my favorite parts about this. Now, to get familiar with most of the guns, they have a variety of weapon ranges. Some being CQC ranges, sniper ranges, and of course they got Hickok 45, the famous YouTuber's range as well, which is a blast. On all of the ranges there's a weapon spawner and ammo spawner, allowing you to choose whatever you would like and mess around with whatever. And next we have my favorite game mode, which most of this footage is. It's called Take and Hold. Take and Hold is a lot like, I would say, Headquarters from Call of Duty, but they got a little spin on it. You start off by selecting your character, and with that character different weapons will spawn. They have different characters such as like a Half-Life variant, a melee only character, a World War II one, a modern weapons, and pre-modern weapons as well. After that, you can mess with the AI settings, such as health, skill, and their bullet speed. You can also edit your own health. You can make it from 1,000 to 5,000, 10,000, and 50,000. 50,000 being the highest, obviously, and you pretty much won't ever die with that. Whenever you're ready, you'll start the game by eating a hot dog. You'll be starting off by spawning into a small room with a weapons case, a melee weapon, which is usually a knife, and a health hot dog. The health and hot dogs are the most important. Although you can buy more, which I'll talk about in a little bit, it'll restore your health to the max. The weapon that spawns in the gun case will depend on whatever character you chose. For example, my favorite character is the modern weapons character. With that selection, a variety of weapons can spawn in the case. Some being a shorty shotgun, a 12 gauge shotgun, pistols, revolvers, lever actions, and some bolt actions as well. It's never too good of a gun that will get you far, but it's enough to make it last. The only HUD you will get is one on your left wrist and one above your head. The one above your head will be health, and on your wrist will be navigation, both equally important. The navigation will show blue and red triangles on it, blue being your ammo spawner / gun spawner, and red being your actual take and hold position. When you start off, you get one take and hold position and you get one spawner. I recommend you go to the supply room first, being you can get ammo and you can also break boxes which will also have some points in it or health. Supply rooms are some of the most important things in this game mode. They allow you to buy guns, attachments, and health, also including a ammo spawner. If your gun doesn't take magazines, for example the shotgun I'm using, you'll have to spawn individual rounds and stack them and put them into your inventory. That's what the spawner is made for. Those things besides the ammo cost points. You can get the points from successfully holding the objective or in the little white boxes. Sometimes they will spawn. There are base variations of the weapons for the pictures, such as shotguns, SMGs, pistols. You truly never know what you'll get. You'll get something in that class though. And believe me, sometimes the game will fuck you. If you're in desperate need of a gun, sometimes it'll throw you a 22 pistol instead of a 45 or 9mm that you were looking for. When you get to your first objective and you initiate it, you'll have a wave or two of enemies and then another objective within that. The first one is always 3 little diamonds that you have to break by shooting or hitting them. I usually shoot them because it's easier. Once you do that, it'll either A, end the current objective that you're on, or B, stop the enemies from spawning for a bit to let you reload. With the first objective, you'll only have one thing you gotta do. The second one being 2, and then 3. And then it varies from there. Like I said earlier, there are different sub-objectives. One being the diamonds, another one being a box you have to shoot to break it, and a third one being these little diamonds around a circular ball that will spin once you shoot it. Makes it very hard. You almost want an automatic rifle or submachine gun to get it. When you first start off, the first objective will give you 3 points. Then the next one will give you 4 and up to 5. And after that, it varies for the hardness. Sometimes little enemies spawn and a lot of objectives will spawn, or a lot of enemies and little objectives will spawn. It just depends. The next feature this game has is a range, which is obvious. That's your typical gun range. Allows you to practice with weapons, different ammo types, and allow you to see how good of a shot you really are. Another game mode featured in this is a raid. They have a name for it, but I'm not exactly sure what they call it. It features a spawner for your guns and ammo, and then an AI spawner where you can spawn up to 10 enemies. And basically, this is as close to Rainbow Six Siege as you're going to get in VR as of now. You'll be breaking into a house that's 2 stories tall with up to 10 enemies in there, and you got to take them out however you like. It's hard to be quiet because it's very compact, but it's a lot of fun, especially for testing and being funny. One of the funniest things in this game is the enemy weapons. The last resort is using these weapons because they are trash. Basically, they're little plastic guns, like toy guns that shoot, and they have a very limited amount of ammo that's not even normal for whatever gun it is. But as you see in some of this footage, some of the take and hold games I play, I do run out of ammo and resort to it. And they do work, it's just not ideal. Some of the enemies will make comments, little smartass or funny comments as you go on, talking about how they hate their job or what coding mistake led them there. It's a lot of funny stuff. It does get repetitive after a while, especially in a 2 to 3 hour game, but it still is funny some of the unique things they do say, and I love the humor they added into this game. And there's another funny thing, the obvious one. You're killing hot dogs. I don't understand why they're hot dogs, but that's one unique thing that makes this game absolutely great. And of course, with this game being so realistic, you're going to have your badass moments where you feel like you're the shit. You're Keanu Reeves and you're running it. I haven't played every FPS game out there on VR, but I have played a few, and only one other game gets the immersion that this game has, and that's Onward. The realism is amazing in this, which leads me to my next point. I would highly recommend a gun stock for this. I did play the game without one for about a month, but I seen one on Amazon I fell in love with and got it, and I do not regret it. Now I do have the Oculus Rift and I'm not sure about the Valve and how that handles, but for me the gun stock is definitely a must have. I do get some tracking issues, they're very minimal, but in the end of the day it really makes me feel like I'm in this game, and I love it. One of the best unique things in this game is the weapon details. A lot of VR FPS games, when you go to put an attachment on such as an optic, you can't fold your iron sights down with a gun that's compatible with that option in real life. This one, if it has that option, you can do it. So that way, there won't be no iron sights in your optic, which is an amazing thing. The next game mode I wanted to talk about was a Team Fortress spin-off, which I personally love. I grew up playing that as a kid, and to see that in this game just makes it all that much better. The game mode is called Meat Fortress. Just like other game modes, you spawn in a room with a spawner that allows you to pick any weapon and ammo you want, and then edit the AI. How many people you want on your team and the enemy team, and their strengths, weaknesses, everything like that. I sadly didn't get no footage of this, but let me tell you, when you have 30 hot dogs running around in Team Fortress style, it is hilarious. Especially when you get up on like somewhere up high with a Lee Enfield rifle with a sniper scope and you're just picking guys off left and right, you can't have more fun. Recently they added a Half-Life addition to the game. The crossbow from Half-Life was brought in along with the pulse rifle and the gravity gun, which makes it all that much better. Now, with all the good I've been talking about this game, there are some bad things. So I put together a little list of the cons I don't like about this game. Some being, without a VR stock, the optics in this game can be horrendous. I experienced that firsthand, and that's why I recommend a stock if you get heavy into this, or any other first-person shooter. And I had a huge question hit me when I was making this video. What is your character? Is he a hot dog? I'm not exactly sure because this is a world of hot dogs. And it never really says what you are. So are you like a bad hot dog? Or are you a bun? I don't really know. So that was maybe another con that I had in my list. I couldn't think of it. They never really have a story about what's going on, what world you're in. And I think my biggest gripe about this game, one I hope they do fix, is the reloading. The reloading is ultra realistic. It is not easy to reload. If the mag is not inside the mag well, you will not be able to get it fully reloaded. And that's actually one of my only complaints about the stock I have. The bar is underneath the controller, so it does make it quite hard to actually get the mag in the well. But even before I had that, I had a little bit of trouble. And I'm not bitching at all, whatsoever, because I do love the game for how it is. It's just sometimes I will die in Taken Hold or other game modes from trying to reload a gun. And the last con I have on the game is the enemies. The hot dogs that you will face, they are very fast, slick, and they will juke you. And it almost makes you want to bash them with a gun, which does work. You can bash them with a gun. It doesn't do too much, but they will get around you and get behind you and unload on you, sometimes killing you, and it sucks. Especially when you have a long rifle and it's hard to get that barrel in front of them. It just makes it very hard. But other than that, this game, I love it to death. I've been playing it for about 6 months now, and I recommend it for anybody that loves guns in real life or even just playing first-person shooters. Now, there is no multiplayer, but there are multiplayer leaderboards for Take and Hold, which do get pretty competitive because there are some very good people out there. And let's just say my longest run was about 2.5 hours, and I did really good, and I'm still 190th in the world. So in conclusion, This is an amazing first-person shooter that's been out for quite a long time, has frequent updates, always adding new guns and attachments. I love the humor in this game, and the replayability is amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and as always, thank you.